The American flag has 50 stars, one for each state. Simple, right? Not even close. This design almost looked completely different, and according to one of the most repeated stories in American history, it was created by a teenager who got a B- on it. Here's what actually happened. On June 14, 1777, the Continental Congress passed a resolution. It read, in its entirety, resolved that the flag of the United States be 13 stripes, alternate red and white, that the Union be 13 stars, white in a blue field, representing a new constellation. That was it. 13 stripes, 13 stars, one for each of the original colonies that had just broken away from Britain. The resolution gave no instruction on how to arrange the stars, named no official designer, and set no specifications on proportions. Flag makers interpreted it however they wanted. You've probably heard that Betsy Ross sewed the first one. The problem is her own grandson admitted he couldn't find a single official record to back it up. Historians now believe the most likely designer was Francis Hopkinson, a signer of the Declaration of Independence, who actually billed Congress for his work. He asked for a quarter cask of wine as payment. Congress turned him down. From the start, the flag had no single origin. Multiple people claimed credit, and nothing was ever officially settled. The flag was always meant to change. Every time a new state entered the Union, the design changed with it. Congress formalized that rule in 1818. The number of stripes would be locked at 13 permanently, honoring the original colonies, but a new star would be added every time a new state came in, effective the following July 4th. That rule has held for over 200 years. From the original 13-star flag in 1777 to today, there have been 27 official versions of the American flag. 27. Most people have never heard of the 20-star flag, or the 31-star flag, or the 43-star flag, which is considered the rarest in American history. Wyoming was admitted as the 44th state just 6 days after the 4th of July, so most flag makers skipped straight from 38 stars to 44, barely printing the 43-star version at all. Each of those flags was the official symbol of the United States. Each one went to war, flew over federal buildings, represented the country at foreign ports. Then it was retired, replaced, and mostly forgotten. The 48-star flag held the record for a long time. It flew from 1912 to 1959, 47 years. 8 presidents served under it. It was carried through 2 world wars. For most living Americans in the late 1950s, it was the only flag they'd ever known. Then, Alaska happened. On January 3, 1959, President Eisenhower signed the proclamation making Alaska the 49th state. That triggered the rule. A new flag had to be ready by July 4th, but everyone already knew what was coming. Hawaii was close behind. That created a design problem. You needed a 49-star flag immediately, but that flag was probably going to be obsolete within a year. And when Hawaii came in, you'd need a 50-star design that actually worked, visually balanced, proportionally sound, something that looked like a flag and not a math problem. More than 3,000 people decided they had the answer. Designs poured into the White House from every state, from the District of Columbia, from Puerto Rico, from foreign countries, pencil sketches, watercolors, professionally sewn flags. Some people wanted to add eagles, or the words, "In God We Trust," or the outline of the continental United States. Most just rearranged the stars and hoped for the best. The U.S. Army's Quartermaster Corps received and cataloged all of it. More than 600 distinct designs for a 49-star flag, about 400 for 50 stars. They analyzed everyone. The design process was deliberate. In September 1958, the Army had already sent preferred flag designs to the Secretary of Defense, designs that would ultimately be selected. At a cabinet meeting in November of that year, Eisenhower stated a preference for staggered rows. The final committee submitted the 50-star design on August 17, 1959. 4 days later, Eisenhower signed Executive Order 10,834, locking it in. Official credit went to the United States Army Institute of Heraldry. That's where the teenager comes back in. Bob Heft was 17 years old, a junior at Lancaster High School in Ohio. In 1958, he made a 50-star flag for a history class project. Spent over 12 hours on it. His teacher gave him a B- and told him, "Get it approved in Washington, and I'll change your grade." According to the story, Heft sent his flag to his congressman. It made its way to Eisenhower, and the president personally called him to say his design had been chosen. Teacher changed the grade to an A. It's a great story. It's been in books, on Wikipedia, on television game shows. It got over 21,000 upvotes on Reddit. In June 2022, a journalist named Alec Navala-Lee spent months going through newspaper archives, government documents, and public records to verify it. He published his findings in Slate. His conclusion? The central claims don't hold up. No evidence Eisenhower was in Washington on the day in question. No evidence Heft was there either. No record of the phone call. No television cameras. No crowd of reporters. At least 3 other people submitted the exact same 50-star arrangement independently. The official government record credits the Army's heraldic branch, not a high school student. Navala-Lee's theory was that Heft told this story so many times, for so many decades, that he may have come to genuinely believe it. A lawyer for the Heft estate told Navala-Lee directly, "If you heard Bob Heft talk, he was an extremely believable person. I just find it hard to believe his entire story was false." Make of that what you will. Regardless of who designed it, the 50-star flag was raised for the first time at Fort McHenry National Historic Site on July 4, 1960. The same fort that inspired the Star-Spangled Banner 146 years earlier. 9 years and 16 days later, that flag was planted on the surface of the moon. On July 4, 2007, exactly 47 years after Fort McHenry, the 50-star flag surpassed the 48-star version as the longest-used design in American history. It holds that record by a wider margin every year. The flag that most Americans consider the flag, the one they grew up with, the one that flew over the Cold War, the space race, September 11th, every defining event of the last 65 years, was chosen by committee from thousands of submissions. After months of deliberation inside a government bureaucracy, the romantic story turned out to be disputed. The real designers were military archivists most people have never heard of. The process that produced it reflects something about the country it represents: collaborative, contested, and decided by institutions rather than individuals. There's no magic to the number 50. The flag has that many stars because that's how many states there are. The U.S. Army Institute of Heraldry already has contingency designs drawn up, flags with up to 56 stars. Puerto Rico, Washington, D.C., and several territories have had active statehood conversations at various points. If any of them ever cross that line, the rule is clear. New star. Next July 4th, a 51-star flag would probably feature alternating rows of 9 and 8. The 65-year record would end. And the flag you know? The one from the moon, the one from Ground Zero, the one from every embassy on Earth, would become version 27. The one that almost lasted forever. Almost.